December has to be the busiest time for me because I don't know what's happening, but it's like all the creatives wake up and decide that this is the month. There's only 5 minutes left in 2024 in the year. So this is the month to drop all of our new teasers, our new trailers, entire films. All of a sudden, they're just coming out left, right, and center. So needless to say, guys, I am happily overwhelmed and overloaded. So just pray for me. But I decided to squeeze some time out this Sunday just to review a couple of teasers of movies I'm really looking forward to in 2025. And the first of them is The King of Kings by none other than Angel Studios. It is their first animated feature. Let's get into it.
I'd like to tell you a story, son.
Let me just say off the bat right now, I love, and I don't really know what it is about them, but I just love stories where you have like this older, wiser person, even if they're not maybe that much older and wiser, but just these people, especially in the old-timey British scene, talking to their young family members or young children and just saying, you know what, I have a story for you. I don't know what it does to me, but it just makes me like scoot up on my little mat and just say, tell me too. All of a sudden, I'm also in the movie, enjoying the story. You know what I mean? I don't know. I just love them.
Some say it's the greatest story ever told. It has angels and wicked kings, jealous rivals, and miracles.
I really love how they're using their camera work already, and of course the animation style is pretty good. And especially when you're doing a movie that seems to not be extremely or not be leaning too much on the comedic side, you want to make sure that you're using an animation style that doesn't negate that or that doesn't come against that. Like even those delicate details are very important. You can't just use whatever style you just like. You have to use the style that really comes off well for the story.
Open your eyes.
Our story begins 2,000 years ago. The young woman named Mary would soon bring a beautiful baby into the world.
Wait, whoa, stop. If it's not about a king, then I'm not interested.
It just so happens that this story is about a king.
One prophecy speaks of.
Look, Willa! Look at all the fish!
It was time for Jesus to gather a few friends, like Judas Iscariot.
Look at the way that you have the characters either going back in time into the world, into the time of Jesus, or you have the characters that were from that time entering into their very own living room. I think animation in itself lends itself very well to having a big imagination, but when you do things like that, it makes it a bit more, I don't know, whimsical, a little bit more warm and heartfelt. It just makes it more interesting and more imaginative for you. I don't know. I really love that, those little cues to just think a little bit more outside of the box. I really, really love that.
Needs more followers every day.
Find him. There's not nearly enough food here to feed all of these people.
And guys, I'm highly impressed. A lot of these scenes look like they could be photographs, especially with the light working in their favor. That adds a lot of beauty to the film.
The people are calling him king.
Then we turn the people against him.
Are you king of the Jews?
If it's what God wants, I'll accept it. And so should you.
Thank you, Daddy.
Okay, this is the thing. This movie has a lot of amazing actors in it. First of all, Kenneth Branagh. Now, if you do not know Kenneth Branagh, director, actor, amazing creative Kenneth Branagh. I don't know what's happening with you. Like maybe he didn't study Shakespeare, because Kenneth Branagh is an amazing director, and I just feel like he lives in the world of the postmodern era or the early modern era, the 1600s to the 1800s, because whatever he is doing in those periods honestly always rocks. I don't know how he just understands it, but he's just that good. The first time that I met him, he was in Hamlet. He had both starred as Hamlet in the film and directed the film. And I loved Hamlet. Now, as a play, reading it in English class, hated it. Watching it in the movie, loved it. Then fast forward and he did Marvel's Thor. And you can kind of see his touch there because, you know, there's all the Shakespearean touch points, the way that they speak.
Who showed you this power? Who controls the would-be king?
I am a king!
Not here! You give up the Tesseract! You give up this poisonous dream!
Dress, the way that they behave towards each other.
Doth mother know you weareth her drapes?
And then fast forward even more, and this man also did the 2015 live action remake of Disney's Cinderella. Now, this is a big deal because Cinderella has to be the only live remake that I think was actually any good, because it also stands alone as just a great film. And when you see the behind the scenes and the stuff that went into creating that film, you realize this man loved the source material. He loved Cinderella, and he really put his best foot forward when it came to creating the live action version.
We shoot the scene in an area of Windsor Great Park, which is essentially, I suppose, the Queen's backyard. It's her back garden, and the oak trees around which our characters are moving on these horses are over 600 years old. So the atmosphere itself is magical, and it was pleasing to be able to tell the actors that they were having this magical first scene in a place where these trees had been here longer than Shakespeare.
I love this man, I love this man, I love this man. He seems to excel in everything that's 1600s, 1800s British kind of feel. And now he is playing Charles Dickens. Truly a casting made in heaven. Guys, Forrest Whittaker is in this. Like, explain to me, like, how is this happening? Now, Forrest Whittaker he is a force on his own. I mean, talk about great debaters, talk about The Butler. I mean, what else do you want to talk about? Like, he is an amazing actor. He was also in Marvel. What's all this Marvel? What's going on here? He's also in Marvel's Black Panther as well. This guy, his range is amazing. His acting is phenomenal. I cannot believe they got him for this film. As far as I'm concerned, we're already stacking the casting list with him on board. So it's just amazing. Uma Thurman, I have not seen her in a lot of stuff myself, but she has a very long resume, an impressive resume in Hollywood as well. So it's very interesting. Of course, she's an Academy Award nominee. It's very interesting to also see her on this project. Like, what's going on? Pierce Brosnan, or should I say AKA
Bond. James Bond.
He played James Bond from I think the mid-90s to the early 2000s. So this guy knows his stuff. He's been able to attract or be able to keep a really fantastic fan base, at least to the best of my knowledge. Whenever a James Bond movie comes out now, people are still looking forward to going and seeing it. So I think he did a pretty good job. But just to have a James Bond actor in this film, once again, what is going on? Why is this happening? Oscar Isaac, again, another Marvel star. Oscar Isaac actually happened to play the lead character in Marvel's White Knight, Moon Knight. This series went directly to streaming, Disney Plus, so I wasn't really interested in watching it, so I didn't really watch it, but the fact still remains that he is a major, okay, maybe not major, but he is a Marvel star, and he is now playing Jesus in a Jesus movie about Jesus. What is happening? This is the one that kind of blew me. Like, what is... Now, let me just say, I have no idea what these actors believe in their own personal lives. It could be very true that all of these actors happen to be Christians and they love the story of Christ. But the fact still remains, all of these actors all of a sudden are now doing a Jesus movie. Hollywood, we see you with one eye. Because explain to me why all of your best stars are coming to work on a Jesus film. Like, that's the point that I'm trying to get across, that this is a film that is openly, unashamedly talking about the gospel of Jesus Christ, giving a summarized account of the life of Jesus Christ, and they're all coming to be a part of it. And let me just talk to all of the creatives out there that are thinking about doing films and they're worried that, oh, I'm not going to have the greatest talent. Let this film be an example to you, okay? There is great talent out there that is waiting to have the opportunity to work on something as excellent and as amazing as the stuff they're doing right now. And let me remind you, everybody starts from a point. But if you don't start, you're never going to get to that level of excellence where you're going to have people like Mark Hamill, people like Forrest Whittaker wanting to be in your film. So please, I want to implore you, don't ever feel like you are so behind that you're never going to be able to catch up. Start from somewhere, gain experience, gain knowledge, gain understanding. You will get to that high level, and trust me, the great talent will be waiting for you at the top. In fact, there's some great talent that will still start with you at the bottom. So please don't ever be afraid to start. Just start. You guys have to go and watch The King of Kings. It comes out in April of 2025, so make sure you go and watch it, because I feel like it's going to be a great film, and we want to see more films like this in the theaters. We want to see more films like this in production. We want to see these actors being able to do apparently something that they are interested in doing, like really interested in doing apparently. So please make sure that you support this. Go out and see this film, and I will see you next time in a new video. Bye.